Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. On behalf of Elk Island Public Schools, welcome to our High School Information Night. My name is Jeff Spady, and I'm the principal at Fort Saskatchewan High School. And we have a number of presenters tonight, principals and assistant principals from throughout Elk Island Public Schools. Before we get going, though, I'd like to recognize with respect the history and culture of the peoples with whom Treaty 6 was signed and the land upon which Elk Island Public Schools reside. We also acknowledge the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. We recognize our responsibility as treaty members and honor the heritage and gifts of the First Peoples. We commit to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. A few housekeeping items as well. In the event of an evacuation, and hopefully that doesn't happen, but we do have exits to my left and exits to my right, and washrooms are out those doors to my right and around. Ask specific questions, and if you look to the back, we have a bunch of tables set up around the perimeter with some signs behind the tables. And this is what we're going to be presenting on. So if you find you have questions throughout the presentation and you want to ask all of the experts here, we will have people set up behind all of those tables for you, and you're welcome to come and talk to any of us about anything that you like. So as you can see from this slide, we have 9 high schools throughout Elk Island Public Schools. We have Andrew School, our Drawson Junior Senior. What you will see up here is there's an Alberta High School Diploma, a Certificate of High School Completion, or a Certificate of School Completion. Typically, high school students complete high school within 3 years. However, as we always counsel our students, there's nothing wrong with taking 3.5 years, 4 years, or sometimes even 5 years if you need to. Some of you may be asking, well, what is the difference between an Alberta High School Diploma and a Certificate of Achievement? And the differences absolutely come down early occupational courses, registered apprenticeship program, and all of these will be talked about later. You need a minimum of 10 credits in any combination. And not counting English and social, you need 10 credits in any 30-level class. So I know this sounds like a lot of information, but we'll explain a little deeper as we go when we get into specific subjects. In order to achieve a certificate of high school achievement, little different than a high school diploma. High school diploma is considered more you do need career and life management or within career technology studies or knowledge and employability occupational courses at the 30 level, you need 5 credits. And within a practicum, work experience, registered apprenticeship program, green certificate, or special projects, you need 30 level, 5 credits. And the third level within high school in Alberta is called an Alberta Certificate of High School Completion. And this is typically used for those students who have significant cognitive delays and are within special programs within Alberta Public Schools. Special education programming. You have to be nominated by the principal in your final year of school, and you are working towards goals and objectives in your individual student plan. And typically, you do not achieve credits in any high school English, math, social studies, or science courses. So with a really broad overview, those are the 3 levels of completions that you can achieve in any Alberta high school. I talked about credits before, and very simply, what a credit is, in high school, every course has a credit value. A typical course, like a core class, for example, your English 10 course that you'll be taking next year in grade 10, has a credit value of 5. And in all of your high schools, you are typically scheduled for a core class every single day for a semester. So at my school, for example, at Fort Saskatchewan High School, a student will be taking English every day in semester 1. So semester 1 runs from September till January, and our classes run about achieve less than 50% in that class, you do not earn credit towards your high school diploma, and you have to retake that class. You can only receive credit once. So for example, if you take English 10-1, but you weren't happy with your mark, and you retook that class, you do not earn another 5 credits because you already earned it. You can earn a higher mark on your high school transcript, however, you do not earn 5 additional credits. There's also some complications sometimes around what course numbers actually mean in high school. And if you look up on the slide, and it's diagrammed very nicely for you there, the first 2 digits refer to the year of high school. So in Alberta, if you're in grade 10, you typically take 10 level courses. If you're in grade 11, you typically take 20 level courses. And if you're in grade 12, you typically take 30 level courses. Not always, but typically. And the Alberta Program of Studies is designed so that if you are a grade 12, in Alberta, the -1 courses are academically more rigorous. The -2 classes are typically a little less academically rigorous, and then -3 and -4. Most of you will be taking courses either at the -1, -2, or -3 level. And depending on the subject that you are taking, has different programs within it. And we'll get to within those courses as we go. But that's what those numbers mean, and I know they can be a little confusing from time to time. Also in Alberta, in every high school you go to, there are prerequisites for certain courses. So because most of you, I'm assuming, are going into grade 10, you cannot start at a 20 level English. The prerequisite course is a 10 level English, so you have to pass, for example, English 10-1 to get into English 20-1. And throughout high school, there are prerequisites all over the place depending on the path you take, depending on your interests, and depending what your goals are after high school. So that's the end of me. I don't get to talk anymore, but we have a number of presenters who will be coming up to the stage to speak about their areas of expertise. And again, after this, we'll be happy to have your questions after. So.
Good evening. My name is Rod Leatherdale. I'm assistant principal at Ardrossan Junior Senior High School, and I'm going to speak to the Rutherford Scholarship. As many of you are filling out planning sheets for high school, scholarships might not be on your radar at this time, but I encourage you to start thinking about it. The Rutherford Scholarship, as is up on the slide, it's the Alexander Rutherford Scholarship. It actually covers 3 years, so it starts in grade 10 and 11 and then 12. It has a maximum of $2,500. If I can get you to look at this slide, the breakdown in the percentages for the awards are an average of 75 to 79.9, and then the second level would be 80% and above. This is a non-competitive award in the sense that if you qualify for the award, then you will receive it. Okay, it's awarded to every student that does achieve those percentages. We will have a booth at the back. It's called Scholarships and Bursaries, and we have a handout with a lot more information on this award. If you'd like to stop by, we can go through it in more detail. Okay, thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Matt Shudra, and I'm a vice principal at Bev Facey. As students enter high school, they'll be further academically challenged, and this is certainly no different in English language arts, where students have 3 streaming options: 10-1, 10-2, and 10-4. English 10-4 is part of the Knowledge and Employability program, which is part of earning a high school certificate, but not a high school diploma. English 10-1 focuses on critical analysis and responding to a variety of literature through abstract and symbolic connections. By completing English language arts through to 30-1, students can use this course to enroll in almost any post-secondary school, but is primarily used for university, as long as the minimum mark is obtained. Entry requirements and marks are set by each individual post-secondary school. English 10-2 focuses on personal response and works on practical communication skills. It encourages students to make connections to texts by drawing on their personal experiences and feelings. Completing English through to 30-2, students will be able to access programs in most trade schools, some colleges, but virtually none at the university level. As you can see, there are some different paths for students to take in order to complete English language arts to the 30 level. This means that students can change their streams to find their best place to be successful in high school and beyond.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Reed, and I'm proud to be the assistant principal at Next Step Senior High in Sherwood Park. And also, based on my attire, I think I'm doing coffee and tea service after the event. I'm here to talk to you about mathematics and a little bit about the course programming that you can find in your high school programming. Now, unlike some of the other subjects, there's actually 4 different sequences in mathematics. The 10-4, 20-4 sequence is for students that are looking to get a high school certificate of achievement. So it is not a high school diploma track sequence. Students going into that course would most likely be going directly into the workforce after high school. The -3 sequence is designed as an apprenticeship and workplace sequence. Now notice, I'm not talking about academic rigor per se, although there is a difference in the rigor of those three sequences, those 4 sequences. But really, when you're choosing your math sequence in high school, the goal is to really decide on what sequence you're going to take based on your post-secondary goals. If it's directly into the workforce, if it's an apprenticeship, if it's post-secondary but in a non-mathematics or science-based program, or if it's post-secondary based on a science or mathematics-based program. So really, in mathematics, both the -1 and -2 sequences are university-bound sequences. And that's different than some of the other courses like English. So it's really important that you choose the correct sequence. So for example, the -3 is for students that are going directly into the trades or into the workforce. So we focus on practical, hands-on type mathematics in that sequence. Whereas the -2 adds an algebra component that's specifically designed for post-secondary university and college-bound students that are going to programs like nursing, arts, humanities, or elementary education. And then the -1 sequence is reserved for those students that are really looking at an engineering, business, math, or science-based program at university. So often, you can ask me more questions afterwards at the tables, but often the biggest question that parents and students have is, shouldn't I just go in the highest program that I possibly could to keep all my doors open? It's a really good question because it's really important for your future. The thing that you have to realize is that getting a 60% in a -1 program could close the door for scholarship or post-secondary acceptance if what you really need is -2 for that program. So talk to your counselors, talk to your administrators to try and determine what is the best mathematics sequence for you. You can talk to me afterwards as well, based on where you're going after post-secondary. And you have some time, because in grade 10, there's only 2 sequences, a Math 10C program that's designed for students that aren't sure if they're going into the -1 or -2 program, and then a -3 course for students that want to go directly into the trades or the workforce after high school. You can see the arrows that show the different progressions, and I can answer any individual questions afterwards. Thanks so much.
Good evening, I'm Kathy Allen, and I'm very proud to be the principal of Salisbury Composite High School. So, there is so much to think about, and now you get to think about science. Science, be very mindful of always your grade 9 marks, and that would be true for all of the information you have heard so far. You still have time to be working really hard and putting in lots of effort, but that is going to pay off by which is the best place for you to go to in grade 10. So science has lots of different opportunities for you. So for those of you that love science, you're just going to eat it up by the time you get to the end of grade 12. In grade 10, you really are looking at 2 choices. Knowledge employability, I should say, is a 3rd choice, because that is an option that is there for you. Science 10 and Science 14 are really going to be the ones that most students go into. Science 10 will have 4 components to it: a biology, a chemistry, a physics, and an environmental science component. Science 14 will also have those same, but at a less rigorous, not as highly academic program when you're in Science 14. Science 14 will lead you to Science 24. You can finish Science 24, check, and you've got a high school diploma. But you have to be really, really careful about gee, I really want to go into pharmacy. Well, Science 24 would not be enough to get you into even a technical program in pharmacy. So really be careful when you're starting to think, even in 10th grade, about what is a high school diploma and what is it that I really need for my career choices. What is my professional life going to be like, and what is it that I want to do? And I hope you change your mind 5,000 times as to what you want to do, because you are so lucky you get to pick from so many things. When you finish grade 10, you will then be able to choose from Science 20, which is a very general science course, excellent course if you have a general interest in science, but you could specialize into biology or chemistry or physics. And then, of course, that continues on to the 30 level into grade 12. The other thing to be remembering, too, let's just say grade 9, well, maybe you didn't do very good in science. You can go to Science 14 and then just go back into Science 10, and it's a nice bridging course as well. So 14 can serve a lot of different purposes, and come to the science table and I can certainly help you out with some more information. And good luck in your choosing of courses. I don't know. This is why they didn't ask me to be the director of technology. I don't know. Okay, good.
Thanks. Good evening, everyone. My name is TJ Kettard. I'm the principal of Andrews School. Social studies is the fourth core here, but I'm going to stand up for social studies and say it's very important, of course. First of all, definitely it's required for your high school diploma. That and English at the 30 level are required for your high school diploma. The pattern, as you can see, is very similar to English. If you're a pretty solid grade 9 student, you'll probably be in social 10-1 and then just progress right across the top, 20-1, 30-1, and that's the track for university entrance. Perhaps in grade 9, if you're not the stronger social studies student, you probably would consider taking social studies 20-2 and going across that stream. Social 30-2 is accepted with many post-secondary institutions, but probably not most university programs for sure. So you really have to be, thinking of your future. If you want to keep as many options open as possible, you'll be in the -1 stream. The one difference from English as well is social studies is not required at the 30 level for your certificate of achievement. There is no, in the bottom right corner there, for English, there was the social 30-4, there was the English 30-4, there is no social 30-4. So those going for that will have no social in grade 12. I think that's all I got. Diploma exams, there's diploma exams for all the cores, and definitely social, both -1 and -2, there's a diploma exam with 2 components, a written part and a multiple choice. I'll be at the social studies table. If you have any other questions, please drop in and ask. Thank you.
Good evening. How are all of you? I hope you're enjoying tonight. My name is Sharon McLean, and I'm the principal at Lamont High School, and I'm here to talk about the fine arts. I would also like to welcome any parents that are out in Lamont, because this year we are streaming this whole presentation into Lamont, so I'm hoping that Mr. Starko has some people in attendance tonight. So if you are there, welcome and thank you for coming. The fine arts, when you look at the slide that we have up here, many of the fine art programs, I have students come and ask me sometimes whether or not they can use these courses for university entrance. And so if you look at the slide where we have the art 10, 20, and 30, some of the fine art programs can be used depending on which college or program you're going into. Most of our high schools offer a variety of fine arts programs that inspire students' passion to create and discover. Many of our schools have very dynamic and diverse programs designed to challenge students. The arts provide a foundation for a rich and meaningful education, and if you look at the slide, you can see that many of the high schools have several different programs. So we do have choral music, dance, drama, general music, instrumental music, musical theater, and technical theater. If you have any more questions, I will be at the back table. Thank you.
Bonjour et bonsoir, buenas noches, guten Abend. I am Miss MJ Nam, and I am the principal of Ardrossan Junior Senior High School. Ardrossan Junior Senior High is home to Elk Island Public Schools Junior High, which is also located at Sherwood Heights, and high school French immersion programming. I am here to give you an overview of the many excellent opportunities in second languages. A second language component has many benefits, with better job prospects in being bilingual, better brain health, opening up to a world of new opportunities through travel. Second language also improves first language skills and gives a greater global understanding of the world in which we live by experiencing new cultures. As you can see from the slide, many of our high schools offer Spanish, German, and French. Keep this in mind because students are able to use their 30 level in each of these courses, to achieve their graduation requirements, the Alexander Rutherford Scholarships, and also for entrance into post-secondary education. Danke, merci et gracias.
Good evening. I'm Assistant Principal Ken Wallace from Salisbury Composite High School. Elk Island Public Schools has a variety of physical education-based programming besides the diploma requirement, Physical Education 10. Other courses at our high schools include both the 20 and 30 level physical education courses, both of which expand on outcomes and activities that were initially experienced at the 10 level. Wellness courses focus on holistic health practices directly related to health and fitness, and personal fitness courses allow students to explore, create, and evaluate their own fitness programming. Sports medicine programs are where students are exposed to basic elements of training, nutrition, and athletic first aid. And finally, also we have yoga, upon which students experience the health benefits of this ancient Far East mind, body, and spirit practice. Athletics at the high school level in Elk Island Public Schools is a robust and dynamic interscholastic experience for all of them. All of our high schools are members in good standing of Alberta's Schools Athletic Association and follow their procedures and practices. The majority of our high schools participate in the Greater Edmonton Metro League, and while many of our rural schools also compete in the Northeast Zone. Most of our EIPS high schools offer the sports up on the slide for students to become involved in, with also a few of our schools offering up even more choices. Please inquire more at our information table at the end of the presentation for any specific questions that you may have on physical education and athletics programs present in Elk Island Public Schools.
Good evening. My name is John Elzinga. I'm the principal of Strathcona Christian Secondary School in Sherwood Park, and I'll be talking to you about off-campus education. Off-campus is offered at all of our high schools, and as well as Next Step, and it's also offered year-round as well too. And it gives students a great opportunity to earn some credits, quite often outside of the school walls, outside of the timetable, and in areas that they can get interested in, into the careers and different pathways that way. It can be paid or voluntary, so some examples of some voluntary type off-campus education things could be volunteering at an elementary school, in a library, a youth leader, something like that as well too. And you can begin right away after the summer of grade 9. But one thing, you need to complete the Workplace Safety or HCS 3000 before starting. And that's a course that can be done online or through school as well too. These credits can be earned towards your high school diploma, up to a maximum of 15 credits for your high school diploma. A few different types of off-campus education. There's work experience, which is covered by Alberta Education's WCB policy, and it's, you can't work the night shift, so it can only be between the hours of 7 a.m. and 10 p.m., and it is under supervision, competent supervision, which is identified by our off-campus educators as well too. And you have to work a minimum of 75 hours, and then you can work towards getting credits as well too. The Registered Apprenticeship Program focuses more on the trades, more than 50 different trades, and students can earn up to 40 credits at the 30 level, which 1,100 hours of work and hours towards the Blue Book, towards an apprenticeship program as well too. I was talking to our off-campus educator today, and he said for the first time in a long time, there's actually more jobs than there are students now, which is really great to hear and a good sign for our economy as well too. The Green Certificate is a great opportunity, especially for those who maybe grew up on a farm or have a bit of a farming background and are able to get some credits in an area that they're very familiar with as well. Mentorship in areas of cow-calf, field crops, bees, swine, dairy, poultry, horses, etc. And you can get credits up to 16, as well as a Green Certificate Agricultural Technician certification from Alberta Agriculture. There's also possibilities with equestrian as well too, as we've been able to find some trainers that are willing to be mentors as well too. Two more, few of you might be interested in this. If you're part of the military reserves, you can get credits for the work that you do with the military reserves, as well as a health internship is open to students in grade 11, and gives you an opportunity to explore some different health occupations as well too. If you have more questions about off-campus education, please come see me at my booth afterwards. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Barclay Spady. I'm the very proud principal of Vegreville Composite High School, and I get the pleasure of chatting with you about career and technology studies, or most often referred to as CTS. CTS courses are driven by student interest. And one of the biggest differences with CTS is each individual course is 1 credit. So it'll be offered during a 5-credit block of time, but you'll have 5 individual marks. So the first time you see your high school grade book, you'll be a little bit discombobulated, and that is why. What it allows for, though, is students that are really driven in that area could achieve more than 5 credits, and so they can sometimes expedite their learning. So if they really love construction and they're highly engaged in that, they could potentially get 6 or 7 credits. Likewise, a student that is maybe not quite as highly motivated, but still has an interest, may still get some credits, but maybe not all of the credits. And so that's the unique part about the CTS. And there is a very long and lengthy list, as you can see from there. Each school may name things slightly different, but ultimately they are areas of interest. CTS courses are designed to be hands-on. So there is a component of practical, and then there is a component of theory. And the idea is, if I'm taking mechanics or automotives, I need to know how to change the tire. Not kind of, you either can change it or you cannot. And so that is the premise behind the CTS courses. And again, there's lots listed there. For example, you can go in at the 10 level, and then there is a 20 and a 30 level, and depending on the actual stream, you could take multiple courses within that. So for example, digital design comtech, there is a photography stream, there is a video stream, there's a 3D stream, all within that. And so it's sort of a general placeholder for that. Another group of courses that is not listed there is some of the business ed classes. So legal studies, marketing and management, financial management, tourism, things of that nature, as well as forestry is a course that's offered in some schools. So you do need CTS courses as part of your 100 credits. Often students will sort of select two or three in grade 10, and then they'll work through at least one of those at the 30 level. The great thing about CTS is you can use that for your Rutherford Scholarship. So there's this myth that I can only use my core, and that is not true. You can use up to 2 CTS courses to combine with your core classes for free money from the government. So anytime the government's giving you free money, I would suggest you try and take that. And so the good thing is, again, if you really love construction and you're doing quite well in that, that can be used as part of the Rutherford or other scholarships. The other thing with CTS, it tends to be a prerequisite for those going into RAP, okay, the Registered Apprenticeship Program. So if I really love construction or mechanics or culinary, then that also may lead a pathway to doing the Registered Apprenticeship Program. So again, there's lots of opportunities there, and I would, again, highly recommend sticking with those to the 30 level because it does pay off on many, many levels. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sunny Sandhu, principal of Next Step. Thank you for being here tonight. I will be speaking to you about alternative programming in the division. French immersion. As mentioned, students in a French immersion program in Fort Saskatchewan Sherwood Heights are able to continue with their immersion studies through our Dawson Senior High. Advanced placement is an enrichment program which offers students university-level material alongside their high school courses. This program is offered through Bev Facey. Honors. This encourages students to extend themselves beyond the minimal requirements of the regular academic environment. This is offered through both our Dawson and SCA. International Baccalaureate, aka IB, is a comprehensive, rigorous approach to learning in grades 11 and 12. Students taking IB courses take both the Alberta Education and the IB curricula. This program is offered at Salisbury Composite High School. Next Step Outreach supports students in need of a different experience in finding success. It combines both online and direct teacher support. Many students have a dual enrollment with the local high school. As Mr. Spady mentioned to start off, we are located in the communities of Vegreville, Fort Saskatchewan, and Sherwood Park. Next Step also offers summer school in a classroom environment or an outreach flexible model. Here's a short video clip of students in our Extreme Common Phys Ed program, which hopefully captures your interest. I will conclude with Christian education, which delivers instruction with a Christian perspective. Staff are committed Christians who support the Academy's mission. This is offered through Strathcona Christian Academy. SCA's principal, John Elzinga, along with all of the other administrators, will be located at stations if you have further questions. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Pallister, and I'm the principal at Bev Facey Community High School. It's great to see you all here tonight, and for those of you who've been here for a while, I am the last speaker before we break for individual questions. I would, first off, before I start talking, is certainly thank Strathcona County for use of this wonderful facility this evening. On the slide behind me, you see the information about MyPass. MyPass is your ticket to information from Alberta Education about your programming as a student. What we do is we recommend that students prior to entering into grade 10 get their MyPass account. Many important things, as noted on the slide, can be obtained from your MyPass. One of the most important things that students look at is the detailed academic record, which is like a report card. When students get to grade 12, MyPass is really important for registering for diploma exams and getting their diploma marks as soon as they're marked by the Alberta government. For parents, letters of enrollment can also be obtained through the MyPass account, and that is important for many people. As it says in the slide, to sign up for MyPass, visit Alberta Education website, where you need your Alberta school number, email, and your correct mailing address. Once you sign up, you'll get a email, or physical letter from the government, and you will be enrolled in MyPass. So once again, we encourage everybody to do that before getting into grade 10. Next is high school open house dates. You can see them all listed up there. Please note the dates and the times for the various schools and your opportunity to attend. We certainly encourage you to attend all the school open houses which are of interest, as the decision made by parents and students is an important first step in a young person's high school career. The open house is designed by each school to share with you all that there is to offer, while giving you a chance to meet the staff and have your specific questions answered about that school. There are many wonderful opportunities and fantastic educators awaiting you in all of our high schools. The thing that I love about Open House is the provision and opportunity for students to feel what life would be like in school when they get to high school. So when you're going around, please choose the school where you feel you will find that success. There's a big change happening in Elk Island with regards to enrollment and choosing your school. Many of you may have been getting messages already from Elk Island with regards to pre-enrollment. And this pre-enrollment is the first stage for everybody in choosing the school for next year. Of note here is that all students in Elk Island will need to pre-enroll for school next year. Yes, that means even students that are not transitioning to a different school, parents will need to log in through Power School to decide where they will be attending school next year. If you've been getting these messages from Elk Island, you'll note that this process begins on Thursday, March 1st, and the last day for parents to be doing this is March 15th. The important thing about March 15th is that if you have not requested or done your pre-enrollment prior to this date, the student will be enrolled in the school for which your residence on record directs them, in other words, to their boundaried school. The bonus of pre-enrollment for families is that you do not need to affirm your request for a school. You also get to complete or make any changes to those data sheets that have come home for years and years. So yes, that data correction form that you often get from the school, you need to change your phone number or email address and then send it back, often gets lost in the bottom of a backpack. That will no longer be happening in paper format, which is why all families need to pre-enroll through this process between March 1st and March 15th. Schools really need everyone to enroll. So if you know anybody who's not here tonight, one of the most important messages for the schools is pass that information on. If this is not done by March 15th, the school will be calling you at home, getting you to complete this information, and that's just going to take a lot of extra time from everybody and be bugging you at home. I'm sure you all want to avoid this. Remember that all students are automatically placed in their designated school on March 15th. So if you have not completed the pre-enrollment and chosen which school, you will automatically be placed in your designated high school. Requests to attend a different school after this date will not be considered. No reason for a boundary request is required in this process. It's simply accomplished through the enrollment form that you get onto on the website. All families who apply for a school in which they are not designated will be contacted by April 10th with an affirmation of enrollment in the school of choice. Certainly, affirmation is based on availability of space in the school. There are a couple of schools in Elk Island that might not have space, and we will know once everybody has applied. After April 10th, this is the time when students will be choosing the courses or registering for courses in high school. So the pre-enrollment is simply which school are you going to and changing data. This is brand new for this year, and so we're all hoping that it's going to work well for everyone involved. To close, a couple of things. I would first like to thank Brock for being here at the back and helping us with the AV and for the live streaming tonight. It has been a night full of information, much of which you've heard, might be things that you're already aware of, but we hope that you've also learned something new tonight. So on behalf of our superintendent, Mark Lagori, all of the educators here, we want to thank you for your time and for your attention. In the back, all of the presenters, as well as other EIPS staff, will be available to answer questions. Thank you.